Gotta make sure I'm looking good, bro.
You're looking sexy.
Got my nice jumper on today.
I was gonna say you look very smart.
Yeah, well the thing is now I know your mum's watching, right? Because I've been chatting to your mum on the old TikTok, and
She sent you any nudes yet?
we've become close friends.
You ain't close at all. You don't even know her fucking name.
Margaret, Maggie,
That's no.
Kelly, Susan,
Nope. No.
Julie,
No.
me Julie.
Julie, big Babylons.
I could literally message your mum right now and go, "Excuse me, darling, what's your name?"
And she would genuinely respond.
Right, hang on.
Hey, baby. Hey, baby cakes.
What?
My name is Princess.
What is it she called me the other day? Lovely boy.
Yeah, you're a little boy, ain't you?
For your mum, I'll be anything she wants me to be. She put, "Hello, lovely boy." She knows me well already, eh?
Hey, Shagger, eh?
Well,
Right up the arse. Shag my mum right up the arse, eh?
Oh, I hope
Mum,
your
if
mum
you're
isn't
watching this.
watching now. You can't say that about your mum.
She won't mind.
Oh, she won't mind. Everyone does it.
Yeah.
Literally, but I thought if
we won't
Dino's
beat round the
mum's
bush.
watching, she ain't got one, mate. I thought if Dino's mum's watching, I got to put on the nice jumper, you know, put a bit of effort in.
I do like that jumper though. It's very like
Lovely.
You're about to fuck off summer and you're about to start the winter phase.
Super dry. It's a beautiful jumper. It costs like 140 quid, but it is beautiful. I'm scared to wash it too much because it's like it's wool, so I'm scared it will get like pulled apart. So I put it in like a pillowcase and then tie a knot in the pillowcase and then wash it so it doesn't like spread.
Fair enough.
How you doing anyway?
I was literally about to ask you the same question. I'm doing all right actually. So
how's your dad?
Dad's out of hospital now.
Oh yeah,
he's literally
dead then.
back. He's back. No, not yet. He's not. No, he's back. He's out of hospital. He's back at home. He actually went to fucking work today. You know, he's told not to. But
what does he do for a living?
You just can't tell a working man. So he drives a boat on a river. So he
do you drive a boat?
Cruises. Yeah, he drives a boat.
Do you drive a boat though? Is it called driving?
So sails a boat down the river.
Is it if it's not a sailboat, is it sailing?
Well, exactly. It's driving because it's got a fucking Ford Transit engine in there, and he's got a fucking steering wheel.
Right, a steering wheel.
Yeah, like you know,
on a boat.
Proper... Yeah. What are they actually called on a boat?
Text your dad. I want to know. Is it driving a boat? Is it called driving?
He says driving a boat.
Okay, hang on. I'll Google. Right.
Basically, it's called cruising, isn't it? He cruises a boat because it is cruising, isn't it?
No, he's not. He's not on a cruise. The common term is piloting. Piloting a boat.
Pilots.
There you go.
If that's...
See, I know your dad better than you do. Your dad doesn't drive a boat. Your dad doesn't drive a boat, does he? What does he do? Do you know?
He pilots the boat.
There you go. Thank you.
I swear, I thought pilot was like airborne, like, you know, fucking in the sky.
You're just making assumptions now, aren't you?
But that's just what makes sense, though.
You don't drive a plane, do you?
Yeah, what do you call a... Yeah, true. You fly a plane.
You're a fucking idiot. You pilot it. What if it was a spaceship? What if it was a spaceship?
Then you absorb it. Zoltan.
Do you believe in aliens?
That's a good question. I actually do, you know.
Same, 100%. And
I think I do.
I would go so far to say, if you don't believe in aliens, you're a fucking moron. Like, you're actually dumb.
It's a bit of a cluster of like it's like a loaded question, that is.
Why?
To the point where, do you believe in aliens?
Yeah.
Like, there's different types. Like, do you believe they live on Earth? Or do you believe there's life out there? Does that make sense? So that's why it's a loaded question. Do you believe they're on planet Earth? Or, like with me, I believe they've already been here, like years and years ago.
Okay.
I think. Or they've come across and they've gone, oh, this world is shit, and then fucked off, potentially.
I believe in aliens exist 100% because I think it would be naive to believe that we are the only living beings in space. Like, space is so vast.
Yeah, 100%.
The human brain cannot comprehend how big space is. Standard. You can't. And to think that we are the only living organisms, it doesn't mean that they've got hair like us and fingers and toes, and it could be anything. It could be if they find a living cell of any description that is then classed as an alien.
Just say like
anything,
rat.
then it's an alien because it's an alien species.
It's not from on Earth.
Exactly.
Yeah,
so 100% aliens exist somewhere in the universe. Whether they've been here or not, I don't know. There is speculation that they have them working, don't they, in Area 51? Like, they have, that's how they know so much shit, because they've actually got 1 or 2 aliens there that crash landed in, I think, like the 80s or 90s. And it's been an ongoing thing that, oh yeah, they got aliens there. And that guy, Bozar, something like that. There was
Laser.
Yes, Bob Lazar, that's it. There was a Netflix series or show on him, and it was fascinating. And he was just being a whistleblower going, yeah, they have aliens working there. Yes, there are aliens. And everything he said so far has come out, like, to be true so far. Fucking crazy.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I believe in aliens.
I think they might be on planet Earth somewhere. Because there is sightings and stuff like that, which I've good old TikTok. People,
Wow, it's got to be true, innit? It's got to be true. If it was on TikTok, 100%. You cannot, like, there's many things in this world you can argue, right? But you cannot argue with how real TikTok is. Everything on TikTok is real. Everything.
You take that with a pinch of salt there.
I love how serious your face was then, because your brain was going, is he for real? Is Dan for real? If he's for real, he's taking a knock to the head, because that's bollocks.
Yeah.
Because I've seen all sorts of shit on TikTok.
Yeah. I was a bit like, you can take it with a pinch of salt, my friend. And I think that's with all platforms. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram bongos.
Anything. Not even just platforms,
bongos.
mate, in real life.
Just in real life. Even now, even if you walk past someone random in the street and they say something and you're like, okay, are you going to believe them?
Yeah,
No.
Well, you would. You're probably one of the dumbest people I've ever met. And I haven't even met you.
Yeah. I ain't dumb. I'm very smart, actually.
Okay, tell me something smart.
No.
Tell me something smart.
Common sense.
Go on then.
Good.
Yeah, but it's common. Everyone's got that.
No, you think.
Hence the word common.
Okay, for example, I don't know, literally about 20, 30 minutes ago, my 2 boys are having pizza for dinner.
Standard.
I do sometimes eat their food when they're not eating it. Like, I just pick up, because they have chicken nuggets and pizza tonight. They have the best food, so I just have a little bite of the pizza.
Every dad does. Every dad does.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so this is the theory, right? My missus comes out and goes, I didn't see this. Has Ollie eaten his slice of pizza? Like, shocked that he's eaten a slice of pizza. And I went, I don't know, I haven't seen. And she goes, well, I'm just making sure, because you normally eat like one of his slices. And I go, right, let's start this. So I said, let's start this again. Ask me, have I had a slice of pizza? Then you'll get your answer straight away. Don't sugarcoat around it. And then we
just go straight to the point.
I was like, there you go. And then she's like, why do you have to like criticize everything I say? It's like, well, if you asked me the question originally, I'll answer it. I have answered your question, so don't have a go at me for telling you. Yeah.
My missus does that as well, but she gets really offended. Like, because she thinks
she did, yeah.
Not just loose, but anyone I speak to finds me very offensive because I'm very direct. I don't do this sort of like, oh, did he eat a slice of pizza? No, what you mean is, have you stolen his pizza or did he eat it? Just don't fuck about. Just go. You're not going to offend me. Yeah. Just fucking ask the question you want to ask. Have you been a fat twat and stolen your son's pizza? Like, no, Lucy gets like that as well. Like with me sometimes, I'm just like, just ask what you actually want to ask.
What, calling you a fat twat?
Oh yeah, I get called that all the time.
Nah, fair enough.
I was getting called it a lot at work yesterday. One girl was like,
fat?
Yeah, one girl was like, if your tits get any bigger, you'll never see your dick again. I was like, cheers, love. I was like, thanks very much. I didn't want to then point out that she's got more chins than whatever, like a really fat person. More chins than a pig. But But I didn't want to say it to her because I didn't want to upset her. Because A, I'm at work and I'll probably lose my job, and B, I just don't want to upset her. But I was just like, fuck me. How can you just stand there and just like blatantly just call out the fact that I've put on weight? Like, you nasty bastard. But then,
but the thing is,
I remembered
we're living
something.
in the world that's equality now. Why didn't you say it?
I don't want to lose my job. But then I remembered, right?
So why hadn't she lost her job for calling you fat?
Because I ain't going to cry about it. I am a snowflake. But then something beautiful popped into my head. I get to go home and I got my wife and my kids. And then in the morning, I get to make their breakfast and make my missus a cup of coffee. We get to have breakfast together. We get to enjoy the day together and do all that sort of stuff. She's lonely. She's single. She's got no family. She's got no one with her. She's got no friends that she hangs around with. At weekends, she just sits in a flat on her own. So I thought if she gets a little bit of enjoyment out of calling me fat, that's great. She's had 3 seconds of happiness. But I know for a guarantee the next 48 hours over the weekend, she's going to be miserable as fuck and really lonely. So secretly, I've won. Do you know what I mean?
That's
in my head, I'm like,
thinking, isn't it?
In my head, I'm like, all right, love, I may be fat, but I'm loved.
And I'm not lonely.
Do you know what I mean? You may be a little bit thinner, but no fucker likes you. You may be thinner, but no fucker likes you. Like, people literally don't want to be around you. Like, and I think I know why. It might be because you go around calling people fat. Might be why you're lonely. I think we've just hit the nail on the head. Stop being a bitch, and maybe people would want to hang around with you.
It's fair enough.
Yeah.
Hopefully she might pop in the comments section and go, fuck you, Dad.
That would be amazing. That would be amazing.
I'd be lit.
So, talking of your missus, I was thinking about this the other day. Would you... I wasn't thinking about your missus. Wow.
Go on, fire away.
Would I think about your missus in that context? I would, actually. Anyway, I was thinking about your missus. Would you be happy if your missus wanted to join in on your gaming nights and play video games with you?
She wouldn't want to. She genuinely wouldn't want to.
But hypothetically, if she said, right, Dean, I want to play Modern Warfare.
She can't. I'll give her that, and she goes, "What's this for? Juggling."
Hey, you can't. She might not be. You're making out there that she's fucking stupid.
She is. Has she actually played at a single game that I've played?
Mate, I'd love it if you.
To be fair, I've been streaming 4 years. Yes, Dan, and I not once has she's come in and gone, "Let's have a go." Or,
really?
Can I come on stream? Yeah, she only comes in to fucking whinge at me.
Oh, mate, they're the best though. They are the best.
You've witnessed all of them.
I've witnessed multiple. Hang on a minute, stream. I'm just muting, and then all you can see is your soul slowly die. Yeah, yeah. I think yeah. What?
That's what happens when you're a gamer, Dad. It is.
Sorry, my missus has just texted me. I just need to
saying love you, probably. My missus is probably saying hurry the fuck up.
No, my missus is heavily organised at the minute. She's loving life, so she
heard the last podcast by looks of it.
Well, she now has like schedules for everything. So she's like, "What time do your new shift start in the morning?" Because she's like doing highlighters and stuff.
The fucking last podcast.
Maybe.
What episode's this? 5, 4.
This is 5.
5. Episode 5. 5 alive.
This is number 5. Yeah, which is fucking cool. It's going quite quickly, but it's dead easy to do. A little podcast, just chatting to your mate for an hour. So yeah, sorry, I was just reading my note. So you would
fair enough.
With your mate.
But we were on about aliens before, weren't we?
And your missus. Is your missus an alien?
She could fucking well be. She fucking acts like it, so let's just say that is.
You should bring her in next time. Next I would love to chat to your missus. I would love to just sit and chat. You sit on the sofa behind, not knowing a single thing that we're saying. And me and your missus just go at it.
Hey guys, if you want this to happen, just whack it in the comments saying bring Dino's missus next one, and I'll have a word with her.
Do you reckon she would?
If it's a podcast, isn't it? It's not gaming. I think she might be up for that, you know.
And then we could literally just talk about you, and she
for like 10 minutes, and you go right. I'm going to interview you for 10 minutes about your fiance Dino, and these are all the questions. Far away. Let's have a quick chin wag. And if it goes on longer than 10 minutes, I'll just walk out and I'll just let you do your thing, baby.
That'd be great. I'd get my missus to do it as well. Maybe one day we should let our girls talk to each other.
Talk about us.
Oh, wait a minute. I just said
yeah.
our girls. Wait for someone to sit there and go, he said our girls like he owns them. I fucking do. Fuck you. I'm shaking.
Yeah. To be fair, I've been saying that today to Keita. I'll be going, I'm the man of that fucking house. And I wear the trousers. She goes, no, I do. I go, no, I do.
If I wear said the trousers. That,
I'm the man. No, to be fair, she wasn't happy with it, but I do though. I do. Like, people say I don't, but I genuinely do.
You've been watching too much
in my
Andrew
own
Tate.
little way. Oh, I do wear the trousers though. Like, I not in 90% of the time it's her, 10% it's me. So this is how I define of wearing the trousers. Who makes the final decision on a difficult situation? Who would make the final decision on a difficult choice, scenario, whatever? Who would it be? Would it be you or Luce? If you had a real hard, I don't know, situation that pops up.
I don't know.
Related, and then she can't decide, you can't decide. You're both different, way off each other. Who would say, right, this is happening? That's it. Probably. That's how I believe who wears the trousers. Like, that's the final.
Probably me. Because probably me, because I don't like wasting time. So I would just be like, right, well, we're doing this, crack on. But when it comes, like, for instance, scenario, and this is true, this happened. So we're redecorating the house and we're getting new flooring. She sent me a picture of flooring. I don't know if we've already discussed this. I've spoken to someone about it already, so it might have been in a previous podcast. But anyway, so she sent me a picture of the flooring and it was fucking horrible. Like, it was grim. And I said, because I've got OCD and because of the way my brain works, I need to see straight lines. I need things to be neat. And this had like weird, like layered flooring. It just looked a bit weird. And it was a horrible color. I said to her, babe, I genuinely don't like it. It's horrible. So at that point, we're at a loggerhead, aren't we? Because she wants it and I don't. So the way we organize this, I said to her, right, let's compromise. You like the pattern. I fucking hate the pattern. You can have the pattern if I can choose the color. And she's like, deal. So neither of us are 100% happy, but neither of us have lost. So that's how we tend to deal with things. We compromise everything. And I mean everything. And it works. We don't argue. Me and Luce do not argue. We just don't. And I think in the years we've been together, we've probably had 2 arguments, maybe 3 in total, where we don't raise our voice at each other. We're just, I will literally, she'll snap and I'll be like, why are you talking about that for? And then she'll be like, okay, yeah, maybe that was a bit rude. And then I'll be like, right, if we're going to have a discussion where we're going to disagree, at least let's be civil and adult about it. And then either I'll walk away for 10 minutes and calm down, or she'll walk away for 10 minutes and calm down, and then we'll nail it straight after. But we don't argue. So I would say we both own we both wear the trousers. And I think it's because growing up, when my dad was quite sick, my mum and my dad would argue quite a lot, and it had a profound effect on me seeing my parents argue. When they broke up, my dad moved out, there was no arguing, and I was immediately happier because I wasn't growing up listening to shouting, screaming, swearing, or anything along those lines. So I refuse to let my kids grow up with any form of anxiety about being at home, or is mum and dad going to argue? What are they screaming about now? Is it me? Have I been naughty? I refuse to let them grow up with the same sort of things that I had as a kid. So we don't argue, especially in front of the kid. And if we have a disagreement, so say, for instance, Lucy said to Tom, oh, I want you to go do a handstand, and I didn't agree with it, I'd be like, I'd bite my tongue, I'd let it crack on, and then later on, I'd say to her, babe, you know when you asked Tom to do that handstand, I don't really think that was a wise thing to do. Can we discuss it? And we will, and we'll talk about it so that it doesn't happen again. But we don't belittle each other, or we won't step on each other's feet. So if I'm reprimanding the kids and she doesn't agree with what I'm saying or what I'm doing, she won't say it there and then, because it means that it looks like we disagree. She'll wait until after and speak to me privately later.
I think that's 100 times. That's what I do when Keita disciplines my children, right? But when I do it, she always butts in, always. And I still bite my tongue. But then I just forget about it. It's my own fault. I should pull her in and ring her in. But me and Keita, like, Keita's she's quite fiery. She's a very fiery girl. And I'm quite fiery as well. So when we clash, we're like a fucking thunderstorm. But as you said, we try and do it away from the kids. Sometimes it does happen, but it's just because it's just the moment, and we're like, they're in the same room. I'm sat down eating tea, or whatever the situation is. But it just happened, and I have to say it there and then.
We're not perfect.
We try not to swear. Yeah, no one's perfect, and I get that. But that's I actually like admire that, like the way you do it. Like when I discipline the kids, I'm a bit tougher on the kids.
Same here.
I think on the boys than she is.
Same.
But she doesn't like it when I'm tough with them.
No, it's like for me, I will bounce safety off of. So, for instance, like one of the things the kids do that really fucking pisses everyone off is when Lucy's in the kitchen cooking, because she's a woman and that's her fucking job and where she belongs and where she should be, cooking my dinner, right? When she is doing her duty, cooking my dinner, the kids, for some reason, think it's a great idea to then just run around the kitchen where they're blatantly gonna get burnt or fucking have an accident. So Lucy will be like, kids, can you get out of the kitchen? Kids, can you get out of the kitchen? Kids, can you get out? Until she's blue in the face. Get out of my home. But then she'll be like, kids, can you get out of the kitchen? And she has got the patience of a saint. She will keep doing it and she'll keep saying it and she'll keep saying it. But my kids are wankers and they will ignore her and ignore her and ignore her. And then what I'll do is I'll go, kids, you've got 5 seconds to get out of the kitchen. If I count to 5, I will remove you from the kitchen. 9 times out of 10, I get to 4 and they're already out of the kitchen because they don't want daddy to intervene. If daddy intervenes, they're getting picked up. Like I will just walk into the kitchen, I will grip them both up and I will walk out of the kitchen with them. And yeah. Lucy's like, I don't like the fact that you pick them up. I'm like, look, you got to understand. It's a safety thing. You're walking around with boiling hot water. My sister is a burns victim where she was 90% burnt with boiling water. Like, I don't like hot water near my kids. I would much rather pick them up and get them out of the room safely. I'm not like fucking picking them up by their necks or their hair. I'm putting I'm putting my arms under them or whatever. But I'm picking them up. I'm grabbing hold of them. And it's abrupt. I'm walking in, grabbing them, and walking out. But the mission is complete. Mission complete. They're out of the kitchen. They're no longer going to get hurt. They don't like the fact that I've picked them up because they've just randomly been picked up. But they've had warnings and they've chosen to ignore them. But yeah, Lucy doesn't like the fact that I will happily just move the kid. Yeah. She would rather they do it off their own steam. But I ain't got. Oh, that's fucking. It takes forever.
Kids, they're not gonna. They got a million. You ask them to do something, they have a million different other options in their head before they listen to you. So you have to like my son Cobain's very good. He's getting better, to be fair. I ask him to do something and he's actually doing it. But I think sometimes he gets in that playful mood where they start just going, yeah, I'm just going to fucking just try and test the water here. And then I do exactly the same as you. I go 5, 4. But when he's in top form and he doesn't give a fuck, do you know what he does?
No.
I go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and he start moving and he'll go 0 and I'm like
blast off.
Yeah, he'll be like, fuck you, 0, what are you gonna do now? And I'm like, right, that's it. You know when you do the old stamping the feet.
Oh yeah. And then you hear him running and then you've accidentally just turned it into a fucking game.
Yeah.
What was I going to say? Sometimes I was going to say something about my daughter just a minute ago, but I can't remember for the life of me what the fuck it was. But it was literally just now. Oh, yeah, that's it. My daughter has a tendency to sit on the sofa and go, I'm hungry. Get me an apple. Get me a banana. Get me... And we're always like, say what? What do you say? Please? And then she'll say, please. Get me a packet of crisps. Get me this. And she's always fucking hungry. And my missus gets really fucked off with it because she's like, this fucking kid is always hungry. I'm like, well, you got to realise she's 4. She is growing. She's going to get through a serious amount of food. Like, it's what they do. But what's annoying about it is she'll wait until my missus is sat down. And then my missus will then have to get up to go and get the food. Oh, why does your missus have to get up? Why can't you get up? Fuck off. It's just what happens. My missus is the first one to get up before anyone whinges. So anyway, my missus will get up and she'll go and get the food. And I said to my missus today, I goes, we need to change this because this isn't healthy. They're treating you like a slave. As soon as they say they're hungry, you're getting up and getting them food. As soon as they say they want a drink, you're getting up. Meanwhile, they're still sat there watching fucking Gabby's Dollhouse, sat on the sofa, while mummy runs into the kitchen and goes and gets their food. And like, so now, if they ask for food, they come with you to get it. If they want an apple, they have to get up and they have to go with you to the kitchen to get the apple. So they understand that if they want food, that's fine, they can have it, but they have to spend the same amount of energy as you to go and get it. They don't just get to sit and chill on the sofa while some waiter brings them food. And she was like, oh, I like that. Okay, so every time she wants a drink, that's fine, but she has to go to the kitchen with you. So she understands that it doesn't just magically fall out of your ass. You physically got to go and do it. And she will have to spend the same energy away from her entertainment, away from what she's doing, time out of her day, so that she has to go and get it as well, because she's the one that wants it. And slowly but surely, she'll stop asking for quite so much because it's not so easy to get it. And Lucy was like, yeah, we're going to start doing that. That's a win. So that's what we're now going to do.
I do that with my boy, Cobain. Not for Ollie, because Ollie Ollie's a bit behind Cobain at the moment with regards to speech.
Dumb.
Yeah.
No, how old is he?
Dumb. He's 2 and a bit. Two and a bit, yeah. But the thing is, when Cobain was 2 and a bit, he was a lot more verbal. He can understand. He just can't say shit. Like he doesn't even know his own name. I go, "What's your name?" He goes, "Hulk."
Mate, legend, absolute legend.
What's your name? And he goes, "Hulk." I'm like, "Fine, I'm up. If your name's Hulk, your name's Hulk." And I'm like, "No, it's Ollie." He goes, "Hulk." And to be fair, he is like the Hulk. He's a big bruiser, and like it was like today, right? He's quite aggressive towards Cobain. He actually bullies my 4-year-old when they play with the toys. And Cobain's like, yeah, and Ollie just hits him, and I go, Cobain, and I'll be watching it. I'm like, hit him back, defend yourself.
Yes.
But my missus agrees with me. Like, he needs to start defending it. And they did, mate. They were full on, like slapping each other in the face today.
I love that.
He was just stood there like this, getting it in the face, and he'd go, no. And
I love that though.
He'd hit Cobain back, and Cobain would go, no. And I'm like, hit him back again. Yeah. And he would hit him back, and I'm like, show him who's the big brother.
Yeah,
you know, that's for Cobain. Not the fact because I know Ollie doesn't give a fuck. He gets hit because he's hit me in the face, and I've given him a little tap in the face,
100%.
and he just laughs and he hits me back in the face even harder.
The funny thing is the problem is if they don't play fight as a kid, if they don't learn to defend themselves, someone's going to twat them in school, and they're going to go, "What the fuck is that?" I think play fighting, or having arguments between siblings, is actually kind of good. It's definitely, that's why I play fight with my kids. I throw them on the sofa and beat them up constantly. But that got me in trouble, like I've said before, saying about beating up my kid, and then school and social services get involved, and then you have to fucking explain. And then they're like, "Oh, okay, that makes sense." But so no, it's a good thing.
Nothing wrong with that. But not just that, it gives them a sort of sense of feeling of what's right and what's wrong. Because
100%.
If my son Ollie keeps hitting Cobain, he's going to think that's normal.
Yeah.
And he's not going to get someone to retaliate at him. So when Cobain's going to get used to being hit by someone and live his life like that, like by kids, hitting him, and he's going to be like, no, defend yourself. But he's learning how to defend himself, but he's also learning not to do it because he's going to receive it back and realize actually this is actually really annoying.
And if fucking hurts getting punched back.
Yeah. So either way, they got to learn that lesson of if you don't teach them, or you could say don't do it at all, but in reality, that's not going to happen. It's not, is it really?
No.
Do you think about it?
But if anyone's wondering what this is that I'm playing with, it's a tool.
I keep looking at it.
It's a spoon. It's called a spoon. It's a trim spoon. You take you can take car pan. No, you take parts of cars apart with it. It's a special tool so you don't scratch things. So like if you want to take your dashboard out, it pops the dashboards out and the safety thing. It's a thing
so
that
it doesn't dent the fucking
doesn't
plastic.
damage any plastic.
It's plastic or rubber.
Yeah, it's like a bendy plastic. It's not. But yeah, if anyone was wondering, because it's on my desk and I was just playing with it. It's not a knife. Before anyone's like, he's got a fucking knife. It's not. This is a knife. Joking.
I can't wait for the comments to say about how you said about your missus being in the kitchen. I fucking love that.
People won't realise that I'm joking.
But it's not about the joke though. But even if you wasn't joking, you're not saying all women. You're just saying your wife.
My woman.
My woman is in the kitchen where she fucking belongs. Like,
you know what's funny though is we do actually have a rule in our house that mummy is in charge of the food. So the kids don't ask me for food. And that is actually for a valid reason. It's not because she's a woman and she's in charge of the food, but everyone in our house, we have our own responsibilities. And mum is in charge of the food for a very valid reason. She does the shopping. She does the cooking. If she's planned a meal for that night, say she's like fucking, I don't know, cheesy beans on toast, for instance.
Yeah.
And that's like going to be a kid's meal or whatever. But
it's the best meal ever. That is.
Yeah. But while mum's gone to the toilet, the kid's gone, oh, can I have some cheese? And I go and give the kid all the cheese. Mum's going to come down and go, well, where the fuck is the cheese for dinner tonight? And I'd be like, oh, shit, I gave it the kids. So that used to happen an awful lot. Like, the kids would ask me for something, I'd go and get it, give it to them without even thinking. And then mum would be like, well, they've already had 4 packets of crisps today and you've just given them another one. What the fuck are you doing? I was like, so because that kept happening, now it's just, and it was Lucy's idea. Lucy's just in control of the food. So if Lucy goes out, before she goes out, she'll get a little, we call it the snack box. She'll put all the food the kids are allowed in the snack box. If it's not in the box, they can't have it. So if she goes out and I'm in charge, they go, Dad, I'm hungry. I'll go, great, let's go and get the snack box, see what mum's got ready for us. No fucking about then. Lucy then knows what is in her cupboards and what she's got to cook with. It's not a case of she's the woman, she's the one that gets the food. It's organisation. It's just so that there's no wires crossed. Because kids are fucking clever. They'll come up to you and go, can I have a penguin? And you'll go, if you had one today, no. And you give them a penguin. Mum comes downstairs. They got a fucking penguin in their mouth. That's his fucking 5th penguin. I've told him he can't have another one. Oh, you little bastard. You've made me look like a right twat. So yeah, it's to stop. It was to stop that. That's why we do that. So mum's in charge of the food. But
you know what that's called though, isn't it? It's called playing mummy and daddy.
Yeah, it's called being a fucking parent. But these days, you can't do that.
Yeah, but I mean, like, that's called it's what they say, isn't it? It's called playing mummy and daddy. It's a bit like like when you're at work and then you're like, well, one boss has said something, and then this guy, and then the one above you, like say one above him, you play mummy daddy between them, and they're close, and then you're like, well, he said I can have tomorrow off, but you're saying I can't.
Yes.
So and then they're like, don't play mummy and daddy with me.
So going back to what you said earlier, who wears the trousers? I'd say we both do, but in our own thing. So like, if the kids say, Dad, we want to go to the park, that's my job. That ain't Lucy's job. She can do it if she wants to, but if we're both sitting on the sofa and we're absolutely exhausted, and the kids go, Dad, we want to go to the park, Lucy knows that ain't her. They ain't calling her. She's staying on the sofa and she's watching the fucking Kardashians. She's not expected to get up. That's Dad's job. But if the kid comes in and, if the kid comes in and goes, I want a sandwich, she knows that's her job.
Yeah. I do a little bit, but we're not so like strict on the food and all that stuff. I'll give them what they want if they want it.
If Lucy's exhausted because she's been at work,
you've got fucking 6, so yeah.
Well, if Lucy's been at work and she's exhausted and I've been chilling and they go, Dad, I want a sandwich, I'll go, not a problem, mate. What do you want in it? They'll go jam, and then I'll go, Lucy, can I have a jam sandwich? And she'll go, yeah, that's absolutely fine. And then I'll go make the jam sandwich. But it always goes through her first. Those kids don't get food or anything unless it's gone through mum first. Well, it doesn't matter who makes it, but as long as it goes through mum first.
Yeah.
But going back to like arguing with your missus, you caused a bit of a storm on Twitter recently, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, over this clip.
Right, actually. Wait there before you say anything. Right, I'm gonna. The power of editing. I'm just gonna split the screen. Don't say anything. I'm gonna play the clip now for everyone, so they can see what we're on about to show some context. So don't say anything. Just wait, because I don't think you can hear it or see it, but I'm playing it now.
What were you doing outside? Were you looting? Suka, it doesn't take that long, so you were looting! But there's enemies inside that they were fighting! Why are you allowing them to loot? You keep doing this shit over and over! You keep just allowing people to loot and get shit off! Like, I don't get it! I get if you need an armor swap, get an armor swap. But you're in there, like, taking your time. Like, did you forget that they were fighting another enemy?
I did not know.
Suka, who were they fighting then? Suka, who were they fighting?
I thought that was the last team.
Suka, why are you sitting there thinking that?
Stop talking to the other guy.
No, Suka. No. Why, Suka? No. Right there. Stay on. What were you doing?
Right. So I just played the clip, right?
Yeah.
What would you caused issues? You caused issues on Twitter, right? Because I'll show it. Hang on.
No issues. I don't think at all.
They're playing comp. Comp is competitive. All I see is constructive criticism.
Yeah.
Right.
I
strongly disagree with you. I'm just letting you know now. I strongly disagree.
That's fine, mate. You're more entitled to. I'm basing this off that 60-second clip. Okay.
Yeah.
60-second. I have dug into it deeper, right? And I've got a different point of view.
Okay.
Of what I initially said. So that's all I saw was that 60-second clip.
Okay.
They are playing comp.
So
comp is competitive. So if I played with, for example, Pads. Look at Pads, for example, and how his tone and how you speak to, like, you rage at each other a little bit. I don't see the difference between speaking to Pads or Pads speaking to you the way he does to it being your missus. Especially if you're in the same room, you're obviously both into gaming, and if they're playing comp, they are duoing to try and get better at the game. I don't know about you. If I wanted to get better at something, I'd expect someone to tell me what I've done wrong. And I don't care, but I've been brought up different. I don't care if they call me a stupid fucking cunt. What the fuck are you doing? I'll be like, yeah, fair enough. Yeah, right. I won't do that again. Or who says he might have said that 4 or 5 times before, and this might be the 10th time he said, "Why you keep looting?" It's gonna get frustrating. He hasn't sworn at her or called her a fucking stupid whore.
And is her name Suka? Because I'm pretty sure Suka means bitch in like other languages. No.
Yeah, I think Luca. I think her name is Luca.
Okay, I was gonna say because if he's calling her that, that's fucking savage.
Yeah.
Okay. It is only a video game.
True.
Your boys getting mad at a video game. And what you said about when us lot play, like me, you, and the boys.
Yeah.
Honestly, how many times, and I want you to be 100% honest, how many times have you ever heard me speak to anyone in our group like that?
No one. I would say.
Have you ever heard?
Not us. No, not us. Not even me. We haven't spoke to that point. That's why it's called berating, because it's aggressive. Constructive. If you look at the definition, it's constructive criticism said angrily, like, you know, with a bit of aggression. That's the definition of it, anyway.
But I would never. I like in all the years I've played video games. Say you done something dumb. I wouldn't be like, fucking hell, Pricey, what the fuck are you doing? I wouldn't be like, going at you. I wouldn't be like, dude, why are you doing that? Like.
It's more passive aggression.
More possibly with me, because it's normally me that's fucked up. So I don't actually have a right to say that to anyone. But I wouldn't. My wife is my queen. Like, I couldn't give a fuck what that woman does. I couldn't speak to her like that. It's disgusting. It's a disgusting way to speak to a human being, let alone the woman you want to spend the rest of your life with, over a video game.
True. No, I get that 100%. The reason why I think it's just constructive criticism, and what I don't agree is, so the guy who posted it originally didn't say anything about him. He's just saying Apex streamer blah blah is berating his partner live stream. Something he keeps doing multiple times. So I thought, okay, fair enough. What I don't get is when I posted, I'd see constructive criticism, and from that 60-second clip, it's not even that bad. Yes, he raises his voice and he's like going over it. He might have said that maybe 10, 15, 20 times. We don't know.
Yeah.
That 60-second
We don't know
clip.
the full context. Yeah. I agree.
You know, I'm ex-military. I've been, without even knowing a person, when I was training, to be a soldier, I had a lot worse than that shouted at me to make me a better soldier. And it made me a better soldier. I was dragged through mud. I was crawling through shit. I was called a fucking stupid cunt about 1 million times. Did that make me? Do I feel like I? Do you get where I'm coming from now?
No.
Like that's so I've learned. I'm not fucking leaving my weapon 1.5 meters arm's length away from me ever again. Otherwise, I'm crawling through that bramble bush, but even worse.
But it's all relative. So you signed up for the army. You signed up to be a weapon of war. You signed up to carry that gun. You signed up for that man to shout at you, to train you, because you know that that's what the military is. Yeah. She signed up to chill out in her house and play video games with her loved one, not be spoken to like that.
She signed up. We don't know that, though. She might have had, like, if this is when I've gone a bit deeper, she wants to be a very good Apex player, and she wants to do it with her partner, and they want to take it serious. So that's when I looked into it, because I thought, it's not that bad. He hasn't called her this, that, and the other, but he's being brutally, you know, with the criticism over and over. But what I saw some of the comments saying he is abusing her, I'm a bit like, that's not abuse. Like, abuse is completely different definition by word.
No, I don't. I don't know,
and we don't know. Like, if they want to build and get real good at a game, yes. Despite when people are saying, yeah, they're only gold, who gives a fuck? They might just start it out, you know. But to me, it's not abuse. Abuse that he's doing.
It depends, though, mate, because abuse isn't always physical. So mental abuse is a real thing, and she's in the comfort of her own home with a man. I mean, the sex doesn't matter. It can happen either way. But she's got a man screaming at her like that. Now, if we look at the definition of constructive criticism, because I've just brought it up, what does constructive criticism mean? Constructive criticism focuses on providing constructive feedback supported by specific examples to help you improve in some area. So there, he isn't giving constructive criticism. He's just criticizing and belittling, because he's going, what were you doing? Why was you even doing that? Why was you looting? Why would you be looting in that? What were you doing? Constructive criticism would be, okay, you were looting. Maybe next time, a more positive way of looking at it was, what can I hear? Is there a battle going on? Would picking up this gun at this particular time while we're playing this game be a good opportunity for you to get kills or get killed? That's constructive criticism, because you're giving examples of things that you could have done better. What he's doing is going, well, what are you thinking? Why would you do that? And obviously she doesn't know the answers to these questions because she's trying to learn. Same as if my son was riding a push bike and he kept falling off. Why are you falling off? Why do you keep doing that? Why do you keep... I've told you, just sit on it. Why do you keep... Whereas if I went to him and went, dude, you need to pedal, get a little bit more momentum, then balancing is easier. That's constructive criticism. There's a massive difference. So what he done there was, I think, was fucking awful. Like, you can't speak. And by the way, I've spoken to other people about this, and they agree with you. They disagree with me. They're like, no, Dan, that's absolutely fine.
And I know people that agree with you, but disagree with me, which is fine. And that's the whole point of a fucking debate about 100%. It. But I think it's talkable. I think it's on the borderline between criticism, right, constructive criticism, and you do pronounce it berating, isn't it? That's what he's put on the tweet.
Berating, yeah. Berating, yeah.
Berating, yeah. If you look at the definition of berating, it's pretty much like it's constructive criticism said angrily with aggression. I don't think it's belittling, because belittling means completely different. It's like you're putting them down to the point, like calling her a useless piece of shit. If he said that, like, fucking hell, what are you doing looting? You're a fucking useless piece of shit. Like, do you know what I mean? You're wasting my time, you stupid cunt. Do you know what I mean? That's belittling in my eyes. That's me. Like, why are you wasting my fucking time, you stupid cunt? Like, calling them all names and being that's belittling, and that's like. But the way he said it, he was just getting angry because he was saying it like she might have been keep doing the same mistake over and over and over again. We don't know that, but that's how I see things. I see it as like he's just telling her. So, he hasn't called her any names or anything like that. He's just asking her why, but very aggressively. Like, why do you keep doing this?
So why? Would you play with him if he'd done that to you every time you made a mistake?
Depends, really.
I wouldn't.
This is what I mean. I wouldn't if I just want to play and chill. If I was wanting to become a pro Apex player, or someone that wants to become a real high-ranked player, and he's higher than me, let's say me and you want to become professional Valorant players, you're Immortal 3, I'm Plat 1, I need to get better, and you spoke to me like that, I'm like, yep, because you haven't called me, if you start calling me a cunt, and saying you useless fucking twat, then I'll tell you to fuck off, don't belittle me. But if you were saying, why do you keep reloading after one bullet being shot? Why do you keep doing? Tracy, why do you keep doing it? I'm like, mate, I know. I'll just literally go, yeah, fair enough, mate. I need to get that out of my head. Does that make sense?
I mean, no.
But
not to me.
I'm just using that as a I'm just using it as a comparison. If me and you wanted to become that in that level, like we wanted to get better into the immortal stage.
When I was trying to get better at Valorant, I was playing with a whole group of different people, and anyone that spoke to people like that, I just don't play with. I don't play Val with people anymore because I'm sick of that attitude that people have. They can scream and shout at people. I play with Dalesy, he's immortal. Dalesy has never once spoken to me like that. And when I play with Dalesy, I become a better player because what Dalesy will do is he'll be like, okay, can you talk me through what you did there? And at the time, I'm a bit confused. I'm like, what do you mean? Because I think I've played it fine. I've just been unlucky. He'll be like, can you tell me why you put yourself in that corner? Because what you've done there is you've given them so much space. You've allowed them to push on site. So essentially, while you were on site, you've tried to play retake. You've given them the site. Whereas what you should be doing is closing off the doorway so they can't get on. So that's how he would talk to me. Now that to me is constructive criticism. That made me a better player because there was an element of respect there. Not respect as a player, but respect for me as a human being. Like, if I'm going to teach you to be better at this game, but I want to understand the way you think first. So he would always say, can you explain to me what you were thinking? Did you think sitting in that corner was a good idea? Did you think holding the angle was a good idea? What that guy there is doing is nowhere near that. What were you doing? Why was you looting then? Like, that's totally different. Same concept done in a completely different way. The way he's doing it is overly aggressive and nasty. The way Dalesy does it is understanding. It takes time. And I've had that conversation with Dalesy a million times where I've done the same shit over and over. And not once has he lost his temper with me to the point where he's screaming at me. Different person, so different temperament, I understand. But
different person, different backgrounds and stuff like that. That comes on to the point of another subject of how people coach one another. It's like one teacher at school is a vicious fucking bitch. The other one is a bit of a pushover. And a bit like, some people learn better with a bit of aggression. And I learn better when someone's screaming and shouting in my head rather than someone going, it's okay, mate. It's right. What you should have done here is this. And I'm a bit like, yeah, okay, yeah. It doesn't feel like it sinks into my head again because it's not fear that gets it. It gets into me. I'm like, right, I don't like being shouted at, so I try and get that sinking in my head not to do that mistake again. It's just different ways of learning and different ways of teaching. That's all that is there.
So if Cobain came home and told you that his teacher had spent all day screaming and shouting at him, and how would that make you feel?
I'd ask him how he feels first. If he doesn't like it.
But the fact that he's even brought it up.
If he's brought it up and said, she keeps screaming and shouting at me, I'll ask obviously why. But if it's for that reason, like, he's not listening or it's not going through his head, and I go, well, what do you keep doing? I'll just go, what do you keep doing wrong? And then I'll just say, well, don't do it. And if I said, if you're going to do it, it's like it with life in general. If you keep making the same mistake, if I keep going to work and I do the same mistake over and over again, I'm going to lose my job. If they're not going to come to me and go, it's all right, mate. What you should have done is done this. And then it happens again. Oh, mate, it's just... no.
Really? Is that not how it works at work? Where I work, if you make a mistake, they will be like, dude, what happened? Can we talk about it? And then progress. No one at work would ever speak to me like that because they would be in court so fast.
Oh, no, not in that way. I know what you're saying. Spoke to in that way? No, I don't think they would at work speak to that way.
And if a teacher spoke to my child like that, I would fuck them up. If a teacher, because if they said, this is how I teach, I'd be like, you shouldn't be a fucking teacher then. My kid's coming home telling me you've been screaming at them and that's the way you teach because you think shouting at them is a better way of getting it in their head. No, absolutely not. Fuck yourself.
Not with teaching. Yeah, like, I know what you're saying.
I wouldn't ask my kids. If my kid came home to me and said, my teacher's been screaming and shouting at me, I don't care what my kid has done. You are not raising your voice to my son.
If he's being a little twat, then
you're not raising your voice to my son. You're not raising your voice. There's no. I don't raise my voice at my kids. And if anything, I tell you what, if you raise your voice, and this isn't like me telling you how to parent. This is in general. if you raise your voice at someone, they will raise their voice even more so that you can hear them. And then because they're shouting, you'll shout even louder. And then what you get is two people fucking shouting at each other. So what I do with my kids and what my teachers do, because I've already had this conversation with a teacher before, I speak quieter. The louder the other person gets, the quieter I get. And the reason I do that is because they then don't hear you. And they're going, what? And you're like, look, what I'm saying to you is, what you did there wasn't right. Oh, I'm like, dude, you're too loud.
Yeah.
We're talking. And I keep bringing it down, and I'll get quieter and I'll get quieter to the point where they have to be quiet. Otherwise, they don't know what's going on. So my kid in the end, he'll be like, oh, yeah, no, you're right, Dad. All right. So I negate the shouting and the screaming over each other. And then what you get is a calm, relaxed conversation. And this is, again, I bring it back to Dalesy. This is why I love playing with Dalesy, because he is calm. It doesn't matter what the situation is. The guy is just an absolute legend. So when it comes to like gaming, he'll just be like, dude, what did you do there? What's going on? How could we improve? What that guy did there, I can't see an ounce of him, of that being in the right, in a way of speaking to somebody. And if that's what they're used to, if they think that is normal, people saying that that's a toxic relationship, you can't really tell from a 60-second clip. But I tell you what is real is a thing called toxic shock, where people believe it's so normal to be screamed at and spoken to like that, your body becomes used to it. But the amount of negative toxins and stuff that releases of negative endorphins and stuff in your body that literally poisons your muscles. Look into it. It's a thing called toxic shock. Your body's so used to it, you think it's normal. But you don't realize how much stress that's causing you. That's not a normal way to communicate with another human being.
Yeah.
It really isn't. But again, it's a discussion. We can agree to disagree.
No.
But if anyone speaks to anyone in my family with a raised voice and speaks to them like that, you best believe I'm having a conversation with them. Yeah. Not an argument, not necessarily a fight, but a conversation.
I suppose that's literally, if I'm being honest, like I have been brought, my stepmom speaks like that consistently. And like you probably, if my sister watches the podcast or my mum, they will agree. So I was brought up with that, with biting my tongue all the time and taking a lot of verbal thing. And then obviously military was a walk in the park for me. But as I said, everyone's got different backgrounds, different views. And the way you explain that is, I see it in a different way. Well, but as I said, with that 60-second clip, to me, isn't that bad, right? And I know it's probably bad to you. But when I look into it a bit further, I looked into their streams, I followed them, had a look at that. He is like that every single game they play, which I think, okay, that might be the way he coaches. If you keep making mistakes every single time you play with Dalesy, he might say it after every game, go, wait, right, okay, he'll do it more calmly, which is fair enough, and you respect that if you want to get better. So he's doing it, but he's consistently shouting and stuff like that. That is, to me, that's what I mean. I'm sort of going back on my word now, because that 6 second, if that was just a one-off, or he does it maybe in the next game, and then he doesn't do it for a while, and then he speaks normally. But if it's consistently, over and over and over and over again, is wrong. Like, he should just calm the fuck down.
And
that's what I mean. I just went over that 60-second clip. Like,
she's partly to blame, though.
Yeah, she's
if he does that all the time, and she just sits there and takes it. Yes. She does have she has the right to leave,
but then plays it the next fucking day. So obviously she can make, and people say it's an unhealthy relationship. I'm sure if like it would be an unhealthy relationship if he's taking that past the game that they're playing. If it's just genuinely that's how he speaks to her, I think she can definitely needs to get out of it if that's how he speaks to her all the time, because that's like not the way it is.
But also, like, you saying your
speak to someone like that.
You're saying your stepmom does a lot of the sort of shouting and stuff. You don't have to be your peer, so you don't, as you grow up, you don't have to be that person. So I learned, my dad was very shouty when I was a kid. He was a very shouty, very angry, very scary, and that was his parenting when I was a kid. And I swore that I wouldn't be that dad. My dad, don't get me wrong, my dad was my best friend, and I love the guy, and nothing will ever change that. He was my best fucking friend. Was he perfect? Was he fucking bollocks? Am I perfect? Am I bollocks? No, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is he was a very shouty, very angry, and scared the fuck out of me. And my mum would use that. So if I was being naughty, she'd be like, "Oh, don't let me tell your dad when he gets home because he'll be angry."
Yeah,
so that was the way it was, and because it was such a horrible thing to have. I was like, I'm not doing that to my kids. So we don't do any of that. There is no the people that raise their voice in my house is the youngest. It's the 4-year-old daughter. She'll walk around screaming, and I'll always just pick her up and go, "Not in this house, love. We don't do that."
But you need people like that in this world, though.
What, screamy shouters?
Yeah, we do. You think about it, if everyone was like you, the way you see things, and there was no one like your dad, you wouldn't have be who you are today.
100%.
Because you were like, I don't want to be like that.
Yeah, exactly.
See how everything works.
Yeah.
And that's what I mean. It's like, but when I saw the comments saying, "Oh, yeah, this, that, the other," like he's abusing and stuff, I go, I'm just judging it from that 60-second clip, right? So I went into it a bit more because I had a bit of feedback. I don't care. People got their entitled opinions. Don't I mean? I'm still into that. Like if someone spoke to me like that in the game, or like my missus had a fucking.
I'll bear that in mind.
Well, I'll give it back as well. I'll defend myself. Do you know what I mean? But that's what I mean. It probably looks worse with that 60-second clip because she doesn't really get a chance to defend herself or anything like that. She doesn't. He doesn't give her a chance to, which is another thing. But
and let's just make it clear.
Go at me for if I don't fucking empty the dishes or I haven't emptied the bins. She'll fucking have a go at me and go, "Why have you not emptied the bins? Why?"
I don't like that.
I've told you, it's every fucking Wednesday, and
I'm
like, fucking hell, I forgot. My bad. Do you know what I mean? Because she's pissed off because she's told me about 8 times before. Like for example, I think that's normal personally. Like someone's get angry.
I don't think that's normal.
If you've asked me to come here at like 7 p.m. and I'm late every single fucking podcast,
I wouldn't do the podcast with you.
Yeah, this is what I mean.
I just walk away.
But yeah, you'll just walk away. That's fair enough. But if if it was your missus late every single fucking time, you might just go, "Lucy, for the 100th time, fucking be on time." Do you know what I mean? Because you've got that care. Like it's not someone like me and you are friends. There's a different relationship bond. Do you know what I mean? Like I feel like you speak to your. It's what they say, isn't it? With regards to, you hurt the people closest to you.
Oh God, yeah.
And that's what that comes involved in. Like when it comes to that constructive criticism, I think it's like if it can come into a category with that, it's as I said, berating, and constructive criticism very close, like in the middle of them both. But to your missus, it's like you hurt them without hurting them. Lucy, you wouldn't speak that to like your friends.
Lucy gets like the worst end of me. Like if ever I'm in a bad mood or if ever she gets the worst of it. But she is an absolute queen. Like she, like anyone speaks to her or disrespects her or she is my queen. Like you've got to come through me first.
Yeah.
And I see myself, I'm the silverback gorilla, and she's the only thing that can calm me down is that woman.
Yeah.
She is, like, if I'm having a bad day, if shit's hit the fan, she is my rock. She's everyone's rock. She's unreal. Like, she is unreal, but I will defend her with my life.
Mm-hmm. I bet you this guy that shouted at his missus will defend his wife with his fucking life as well. I just feel like this is the worst part of him because he gets too attached to the game, blah, 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 and shit at coaching, as you can say. Some people, I don't mind being shouted at being a coach. It gets into my head, but he might, this might be the worst of him towards his missus.
Maybe
with the game, the way he talks to her.
I think he's a bellend
after the game. Yeah, yeah. I, over a game for me, I think it's
ridiculous.
A bit. It's because it's over a game, which makes it far worse.
Yeah,
but in reality, it's not even that bad. There's fucking a million, thousand, gazillion things worse than what we've just watched there.
100%.
For people to for people to go, do better, leave him, stuff like that. Like fucking hell, they're married for fuck's sake. They might even have kids. We don't know, but like
oh mate, if they got kids, it's even worse.
Yeah,
because their kids are listening to that shit.
I feel like I've learned something there, like seeing things different ways in regards to maybe with your temper, really. But as I said, I feel like we both might have learned some things from that, from different points of view.
Maybe,
in some sense.
Maybe.
But as I said, when I looked into it more, he does it all the time. So he is a bit of a dick because he does it all the time.
And she needs to walk away.
And she needs to stop playing with him, basically.
Yeah.
But the thing is, if she's come out and said, "Oh, I'm hating playing with I hate playing with my husband," then don't fucking play with him, man.
Yeah.
But if you keep playing with him and he keeps shouting at you, then you got to take some responsibility there.
This is what we were saying, like about Andrew Tate. like him saying, about taking responsibility for your actions. Like if you're going to put yourself in danger, dangerous things will happen. It's the same sort of thing. Like I don't agree with the way he spoke to her at all, but at the same time, she does have legs. She can walk out, and she should do. In my opinion, that's not a relationship worth having. And who are you to say that's? Trust me, there are people out there that would treat her better.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I had this guy on that Twitter, this guy called Digress Music or something like that. This guy is what you call full on fucking penis, right? He said, I've played in sports, I've played in competitive, and I've never had anyone speak to me like that ever. Sounds like you're pro abuse. I'm like, well, let's define abuse, please, mate. And I've had people shout at me at sports as well, saying, fuck's sake, you fucking idiot, what have you done? Like, do I mean it's part of how I was brought up, I suppose. Like being shouted at, and in football you call each other fucking names. You even see in pros today, like they fight sometimes to the point they've lost each other's heads, and they're teammates for fuck's sake, and they've lost each other's heads, and they've had a go at each other, and they've had each other by the scruff of the neck. So I feel like he's obviously played in a real nice environment with a sports team.
I think one of the best sort of things I've like sayings or things I've ever like seen is when people say, well, this is how we've always done it. Like if you show someone a better way of doing things, but they go, oh, but this is the way we've always done it. Yeah, I get that, but this is a better way of doing it. So maybe this is a part of trying to get rid of the toxic mindset around video games. Is yes, people may shout and scream at each other, and yes, it may be the norm now, but wouldn't it be better if people didn't do that? If we did change it, if we did change the way games were made to the point where if you scream and shout at each people, you're going to get banned. It would be better if people were actually scared to open their mouth on the internet and be keyboard warriors and be horrible to each other. Then the world would definitely be a better place. It does make me wonder where those people would then vent their anger, because a lot of people use gaming to vent.
Well, this is what I mean.
But
like you can
find a punching bag.
And shout, but I don't. Well, that's what I mean. Yeah, but I scream and shout to let rather than hold it in, and then I'll explode. It's like I'm like a volcano.
No,
so when I rage, I rage.
I'm not on about that.
I don't.
Because you mute your mic.
Yeah.
When you do that, the only person you're affecting is you, because you mute your mic.
Yeah.
If you was to be doing that shouty, screamy, ragey shit at me constantly, I wouldn't play with you, because I don't need it in my ear constantly. Because that's not how I work. If people want to be ragey and have their negative energy levels this high, I don't. That's not in my life. That can get fucked. I just want to be
Especially
chill.
If you don't know the fucking guy. You
fuck that shit,
But that's why
bro.
it gives the option. It just gives you get the option to mute them.
But people these days still choose to start off with the nastiness. And if you're sitting in the same room as someone doing it, like that poor girl was, you can't. It's a horrible thing to listen to.
Yeah.
But then I am sound sensitive, so I just don't deal with negative. I don't have any space for it. I don't see any need for negative. There's no space for it. Like, I've got no time for it. Just be positive, be nice to each other, and crack on. Now, me and C Waddle, me and you, me and groups of people, I'll send you a message going, "Oh, you're a dick," or I'll send you a picture of me having a shit.
Yeah.
Constantly, that's something I do. If I'm having a poo, I will take a selfie and I'll send it to a number of friends because I find it funny.
Yeah.
But that is just my sense of humour. But it's not screamy shouty. I'm never screamy shouty. I never scream. I guarantee you there is not one time that we've been playing a competitive game that you can think of that I've screamed and shouted at you, because I don't do it.
Yeah, I think, you don't do it at all. Like, as I said, you might have a bit of passive aggression.
Passive aggression, 100%. I am guilty of that. But
I think everyone is. It's because you don't want to hurt someone's feelings or sound like a dick in some way. But you're a bit more passive because you don't want to speak to them the way you really want to speak to them, though, do you?
Yeah, exactly. So I won't.
You don't want to. You don't want to, but
I don't want to hurt anyone.
It'll be a lot different. Exactly.
Yeah. I don't want to hurt anybody.
I feel like this guy is saying how it is without being passive aggressive, because it's his wife, and as you said, you speak to your wife sometimes they see the worst of you because you love them the most, and you say the hurtful things the most. And I know that from experience because I've said some horrendous things to my missus, absolutely out of this world, like I should be locked up for, really. And she's give it back. She said the worst things possible.
I think when I say that, now,
but like
I would never say anything to Lucy. I'd never be like, oh, you fucking bitch. I would never call her a name. I would never raise my voice at her. What I mean by they see the worst of you, if I've had a bad day at work and and it's pissed me off, she'll see me at my lowest because I'll sit at home and I'll be like, for fuck's sake, man, that really pissed me off. That's what I mean. I would never aim anything at her. I've never aimed it. I never in the 10 years we've been together, not once have I ever gone to her. I've never once called her a name. I've never gone, oh, you fucking bitch. Never. You fucking never happened because she's my queen. I wouldn't speak to her like that. I wouldn't speak to my mum like that. So I wouldn't speak to her like that. Because she's my kid's mum. I respect her more than I respect myself. And I would run into traffic for that woman. And if anyone disrespected her in front of me, there's going to be a conversation. Not violence. Don't do it. There's going to be a conversation. But so she is the most important person in this world because when I am at my lowest, she's the one that drags me out of it. And vice versa. When she's at her lowest, I'm the one that drags her out of it. And she's never gone to me, you're a bastard, you're a prick, you're a fucking this, that, and the other. Because she knows I would turn around and leave. Because I'm better than that. I don't need to be spoken to like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that woman needs to do the same thing.
On now.
Yeah.
That's how we're getting on now. Like I said, if anything, this is why we've split up many times and got back together. It's what's made us stronger. But it's like hence why we're getting married next year. This is it. Like this is the fight. Anything that goes wrong that makes a split, that's it. We're fucking splitting for good. One, I know I'm fucking alright when I'm on my own. I know she was okay living on her own and stuff like that. But we're back together because of the kids' sake, and it's working. We both know that's it now. No
fucking about.
So no fucking about.
I think I've always run by that though. I've always been that way. Like if Lucy started to disrespect me, like if she started calling me names or screaming and shouting at me and fucking with my headspace, she knows I'd be gone in a blink of an eye. Like I literally, I'm so black and white. It's ridiculous. Like if I talk to you, it's because I choose to talk to you. It's because I choose to spend my time with you because I feel that I can either learn something from you or that you're not going to agitate my sort of chilled out state. Like we can relax, we can chill, we can vibe with each other. But if you're going to be aggressive and shouty and loud, I don't play games with you. I don't talk to you. I'm very quick to just be like, see you later. I'm not dealing with that anymore. And she's the same. Like I would just be like, well, babe, if this is the path you want to go down, where I get home from work and you're screaming at me about a dishwasher, I'm leaving. You ain't speaking to me like that. I'm a human.
I got you.
That's just the way we are.
Oh, I get that.
So that bloke was out of order. Do you agree or disagree? Was he out of order? Yes or no?
60 seconds. No, not on that 60-second clip.
So we both completely disagree, but it doesn't matter because I still love you.
Yeah, same here. Oh, but I'm offended that you don't. You think I'm offended, mate?
Oh,
That's
you're fucking.
I hate you.
You snowflake.
Anyway, when I was going on to that digress guy, right? I said, anyway, I said the title says "be rating and not abusing," right? So go back to your mountain, you snowflake. That's what I put, right? He goes, unlike you, I watched the whole thing, and the title said, and read the title, and it's 100% abuse that guy's doing. There's 100% chance you abuse your partners, he said to me, right? So he had the courage to go onto my fucking Twitter page, and obviously on my pinned tweet, it's me and my son Cobain. Did you see his tweet?
No.
He goes onto there, and he said, this is his words, "Get that kid out of here before you start abusing him."
No.
You know, since you out yourself as pro-abuse. I go, my kid has a name, and even at that age, he has more common sense than you. That's what my response was. Like, that's what I mean.
No way, I'm just looking at that now.
He's gone out his own way. That's why he's gone out his own way to go on me and comment on my son. Like, I was initially sparked a fire, and I thought, right.
Well, yeah, because he's brought your kids into it.
Yeah, exactly. So I just went, I'll just respond politely. But I know for a fact, and then I look at his profile and I just think, this guy, I look at all the tweets he does and stuff like that. it's like one of those tweets is I looked through it because I thought he goes, I don't know why, but I let people piss me off way too easily.
Yeah, I'll just bring that up.
This guy is a monster, right? And I was going to tweet on there saying, well, I did tweet. I go, question is, why do you let people piss you off way too easy? Why do you? Because you are a fucking snowflake. That's all it is. There's people like that. I just don't have any time for. Like, all I've done is gone over a clip. I haven't gone over to his or checked him out or checked his channel or like called him a name.
I just checked his Twitter out.
Yeah, so I did check it out, but I didn't go out of my way and say, mate, your profile picture, you look like a raging pedo. Or anything.
He shouldn't be bringing your kids into it.
Exactly. That just sums it up straight away. Yeah, so I just literally tweeted and just thought, fuck him off. Yeah.
Right,
but
bro.
That is an interesting clip, though, for sure.
Yeah.
But as I said, is he a dickhead? What was it? The disagreement? Agree or disagree? Yeah, I agree. He is a dickhead because I went into it a bit more, and he's like that all the time for hours on end.
And he shouldn't speak to his missus like that at all, under any circumstances.
I think you get a right to speak to anyone in any way you want. To be fair, but it's all on the other person what they do with that.
But just because you're okay with being spoken to like that doesn't mean everyone is. So you one day could speak to somebody like that. And you don't know, but that's the straw that just broke their back, and they go kill themselves.
What if I spoke to someone like that?
Yeah, it doesn't take a lot, mate.
Yeah, true.
Do you know what I mean?
But
so I always play it cautiously. I don't speak to anyone like that because you never know what they're going through.
No, like I wouldn't speak to you like that, Swaka. I wouldn't. It's a matter of respect, isn't it? Like yeah. Okay. But I wouldn't go up to a random person and say that. Like, they could be having a bad day.
But even his partner, he doesn't know what's going on in her head. Like I don't know what's going on in your head. I don't know what's going on in Lucy's head. For all I know, because she's a totally different person, for all I know, she's struggling with things that she hasn't told me. I go and have a go at her like that. That's the final thing. That's the final thing. She wanted to play games because she wanted to take her head away from whatever it is that's bothering her. And instead, what she's got is her husband sitting there screaming at her. I've had enough. I'm just going to end myself now.
Yeah.
And to you're like, what the fuck? It was so trivial. It was a video game. But to her, it meant something because she wanted to spend her time with me. And I've taken that.
Mental health, doesn't it?
But it does, because you never know what someone's going through. You never know. True. So speaking to somebody like that can be so much more dangerous than you realise. Not you, but people in general.
Yeah.
Like you cannot speak. Road rage is another thing that I used to be bad at, and I don't do it anymore because if that guy feels better for beeping his horn at me because I might have made an error on a roundabout.
Yeah.
If that's made him feel better, good. I'm pleased he got it out, and I'm pleased I was able to take his aggression and no one get hurt. I would much rather that than him hurt himself.
Is a real thing.
Yeah. Exactly. I don't want people to hurt themselves.
I'll rage if I've got kids in the car and they've genuinely just done something fucking stupid.
No, I get that. I 100% get that.
Like, if they've just cut in front of me, like in a queue, going 5 miles an hour, who gives a fuck?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
If someone's skipped the queue and just gone in because they might be in a fucking rush, I don't care.
My missus won't let anyone in.
For a red 50 mile an hour and I had to slam my brakes on and we could have died, then I will go fucking nuts.
My missus doesn't let anyone in. She's so aggressive as a driver. I'm like, babe, just let them in. You don't know where they're going. They could be going to a hospital. You have just chill, just vibe. Yeah. And if people are angry and stuff, like I am horrible to you. I'm horrible to Sewaddle. I am horrible to Dale Z at times, you know. But
it's not that horrible.
It took me a long time. I had to get to know you so that I knew that you understood it was banter. Like, I would never do anything meaningfully. I'd never, like, we started this podcast with me flirting about your mum, but that's only because I know you and it's a joke. I wouldn't do that with someone I don't know. And, but again, I wouldn't push mental barriers with people where I think that they're going to hurt themselves. Screaming at people and shouting at them like that guy was, you don't know what damage that's doing to somebody. You really don't. You can't speak to people like that. It's
their relationship though, isn't it?
So that makes it okay.
Well, no, I'm just saying, like, she's got every right in a way to go, stop talking to me like that.
100%.
Stop fucking play. Or stop playing video games.
Oh, yeah.
Are they doing it as a fucking stunt?
Maybe.
To get everyone's, do you know what I mean? You don't know these days.
You don't know.
That's what I mean. It's like, you just don't know. He might be doing that deliberately to bring the attention, because when I looked at him, he's only on 1,000 followers.
Yeah, and
but since that clip then, He's on fucking 100 viewers. He's getting followers and followers, and he keeps doing it. And he gets the hate comments coming in.
Yeah, but
he gets the attention.
Any publicity is good now, apparently.
You know what I mean?
But,
that's what I mean. You can get the hate comments, and now he's getting all the followers.
Well, that's how
XQC
started, isn't it? Really. But I'm just saying, me personally, I don't speak to people like that. I think it's wrong.
No, I would speak to someone in like that only in different, not over a fucking video game. In regards to if I was training people for the army, I would, because that's how I got treated.
Situational, yeah. In the army, yeah.
It's the way you speak like that is situational.
Well, the enemy's not going to be nice to you, are they? So in the army, I can understand it. The enemy's not going to be like, "Do you want a cup of tea, fella?" They're going to be screaming, shouting at you, and shooting at you. So you need to be conditioned to it. You need to get used to it. But I think you don't realise how damaging it is to civvies. Because you've lived that life, you've been in the army and you've been at it, so you've got a hardened shell to that sort of shit. But when you speak to someone like me who's a civvy, I'm looking at it going, that ain't normal.
Yeah.
And a lot of people in the military suffer with these sort of things because they're like, well, this is normal. No, it's bro, that's not fucking normal.
Yeah. And I think that's why my point of view is quite strong on it, and it's not that bad. And
so what we're saying is your missus is solid.
She is quite fiery. But the thing is, like, I reckon if you ask most vets or military people and they see that clip, they wouldn't really be that fussed by it. But I think, like as you said, as a civilian that's not had that sort of arduous training and stuff like that, would definitely not tolerate it.
Yeah,
as I've become more of a civilian this past 4.5 years, I am not taking as much shit, so I am getting a lot more defending myself and not being spoke to like that by anyone.
Yeah, good.
Do you know what I mean? So, which is kind of good. And I've noticed that. And
in the army, you need it, like I said, because the enemy's not going to be nice to you. The enemy's not going to be like, exactly. So it's completely understandable. But in a normal world, people don't communicate like that, bro. It's not normal. Yeah. It's not normal. Yeah. You've got rage issues, bro. Sort your shit out. Anyway, I'm going to go because you're going out, and you're going out on the piss. And I think
I've had a real good conversation with you on that clip. I think we should do that more. If anyone's got any clips,
send us clips. 100%. Send us clips.
Put the link in the comments, and we'll have views on it. For the next one, Spacco, I want to... Have you seen the Piers Morgan interview with Andrew Tate?
It's brilliant. It's actually brilliant.
We should do that one next.
Yeah, we can go over that. However, the problem is we can queue this sort of shit up because remember, I want to speak to your missus.
Yeah. We've got plenty more content.
We've got so much shit.
Wait.
So much shit to get through. But you need to speak to your missus and see if she'd be
I'll speak to her right now, actually.
Bro, so that I can get her side of it. You step the fuck out of the shed. You're not even there. Let me see her side of shit.
Yeah. And I'll tell you something. If you discussed what we just discussed then about that clip, my missus agreed with me. How mad's that?
Cool. So don't tell her. Don't tell her. Just say, look, one day you should do the podcast with Spacco to get a feminine side of things, and then one day we can just let both of our girls at it. Me and you can just be on the phone or something and chilling. Lucy can be in here. I'll be with the kids. You be with the kids. And once an hour is up, I can come in and go, right, that's it, girls. And then without even watching it, I'll just upload that motherfucker and see what they say.
Oh. Well, I don't know. You want to watch? They might say something TOS though. That's what I mean.
I couldn't give a fuck. Do we care about TOS? You can't. We're not famous. We can't be cancelled.
No, I don't know. True that.
We can't be cancelled. We're not famous. You can't cancel someone who isn't anyone.
Right, so they might be racist. We don't know them. We don't know.
They might be racist. I guarantee you, neither of our misses are racists.
Yeah, I know.
Right, bro. You need to piss off. We need to end this. Yeah. This is the longest one we've done so far.
Good. Big love.
Bye. Love you.
See you later. Bye.